We have Diana from the team over at MBS Highway, and she's awesome. She's going to be giving us a run through just some best practices when it comes to MBS. I know there's a lot on the platform, so just making sure that you're taking advantage and leveraging all of them. But I would say if anyone did not get a chance to watch last week in place of the weekly webinar, we had a Facebook Live with Renee Rodriguez, and it was awesome. He really talked a lot about scripting and connecting with your clients on a deeper level. So I highly recommend. He was even keeping Ryan on his toes when we went through it. So that's worth watching. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that, it is on our YouTube channel. It's also, we had some technical difficulties. It went live from Ryan Grant's page, but it's also shared on the AOH page. So you can access it there as well. It does look like we have a decent amount on now. So Diana, if we want to dive into it, if you guys have any questions as we go, she's going to be taking some questions. So just put them in the chat bot or the Q&A as always. And then we can circle back at the end too, if anyone has questions that we missed.
Yeah. Thanks, Val. Appreciate it. And back at
Yeah.
you. You're awesome as well. And your whole team is too. We love Ryan and everybody at AOH. And yeah, Renee Rodriguez is great too. I mean, we do a lot of work with him, and I'm sure that session awesome. Was real good. We had one with him too on our Facebook page. That's nice. So hey guys, Diana, like Val said, with MBS Highway, and I'm glad to see that you guys are all on board already with MBS Highway. We are also going to talk a little bit about CMA, or Certified Mortgage Advisor, later on. So hang tight for that. If you're already a CMA graduate, let me know, which is great to see. But what we're going to do today, I will be respectful of everybody's time. I know we have an hour allotted for this, but honestly, I just want to run through a couple things that I think if you're new to MBS Highway, you should be starting with, and just some best practices that I think you can use in your daily business right away. This is not something that you need to train forever for to use. This is something you can use right now. Start closing more loans and start becoming a much more valuable resource to your customers and your referral partners. So let's take a look. I'll share my screen. And what we're going to do first is talk a little bit about the daily information that MBS Highway offers. I'm sure most, if not all of you, already watch our morning update and get our text messages or phone calls or emails notifying you of what's happening in the market. Just today, for example, we issued a lock alert at around 10:15 Eastern time. So I'll talk a little bit more about lock alerts, but what I think and what I really hope that you'll do every single day is start by watching the morning update. So once you log into your account, if you hover over updates and click on morning update, you'll find it there. You can click on the title right here. Today's was what's going on with job growth, or you can click on the email that we send you in the morning. It'll have a link to the update in there. So let's take a look at today's. Every morning, it's a whole production. Not only do we have all the data that we look at, the economic reports, mortgage and housing news, but we also put a fun little song in the beginning. So nice. I think this is Marvin Gaye today. I never know the songs. I'm so behind my time, but I try. But every morning you'll see Barry or Dan start us off, and you guys know who they are, of course, our CEO and our VP. And they will give us basically what we're going to talk about today. Today we had mortgage apps, and it's interesting because mortgage apps are coming in down 18% year over year right now for purchases. But when you take into account cash buyers and the change from last year, they're at like 23% right now, I think. I didn't see the number this morning. But really that change is about down 9% in purchase apps. But the media is taking these larger numbers, these negative larger numbers, and putting a bad skew on them, like a negative skew on them, I should say. So what we do is we take a lot of those stories that might not be accurately or reported on in the news and explain to you how you can explain that to your customers and your referral partners to, like I said before, become a much more educated loan officer for your clients' referral partners. So once you continue watching the morning update, you'll start to see Megan and Dan come in, talk about more economic news. Our theme today was about job growth. Today, we got the ADP jobs report, and we saw that they came in less than half of what expectations were for today's job report. We lost about 330,000 jobs, or excuse me, we created about 330,000 jobs. But we're wondering, is this something that's just going on because of COVID, because of people not wanting to go back to work, they want to work from home, or maybe they're not looking right now? We kind of break down all the different facts and numbers that you need to know to really understand these reports. At the end of the video, you'll see we pull up the candlestick charts for the mortgage-backed security coupon we're tracking at the moment. Currently, it's the UMBS 30-year 2% coupon. We recently switched our focus from the 2.5% coupon, so that was a great thing to see. We'll also break down the 10-year treasury, and sometimes we'll pull up the S&P chart. But overall, you'll get a more macro look at what the market's doing, but a very micro look at what's happening today, tomorrow, what we could expect to see with rates. So today we were floating in the morning, as you can see, but as I mentioned, we issued a lock alert. So if we see that pricing has gone too far from when your lender issued pricing, and they might issue a reprice for the worse, we'll send you a text message, a phone call, an email way before they issue that reprice, so you can quickly lock in your pipeline and save those rates and those deals with your customers. If there's some reason you cannot watch the video in the morning, it is pretty short. Right now, it's about 7 minutes today. Normally, they're between 5 and 7 minutes, but there's been a ton to talk about. So forgive us if they get a little long. We just want to give you all the info. But if you can't watch it, you do have the written version below. Sometimes you'll have these nice charts, these graphics that you can one-click share to email and social media. Or if you miss a total, full day of the update, you always have the different, the recent archives at the bottom. We don't recommend that you miss an update though, especially like a week's worth of updates, because then the news comes dated. It's not going to make sense to talk about it maybe in a week or 2 weeks. So definitely take the time out of your morning, drink it with your coffee, watch it while you're drinking your coffee, and really get an understanding of what's happening in the markets, because it's really not about rate anymore. We can't depend on selling the lowest rate with all these pricing wars. And we really need to become advisors, as you already are, but why not enhance that with such good information that you already have access to thanks to out of home ownership. So under the updates tab, I also want to briefly mention that you have what's called the market wrap. And this is just a short 2, maybe 3-minute read that wraps up what happened in today's trading day. You'll notice this one's dated for yesterday because it is issued at the end of each business day. So you'll see today is right around 5 o'clock Eastern time when the market closes. And we'll also explain how you should expect to go into the next day in the markets. And just while we're on the topic of some, daily, weekly information and articles, we have a piece from John Malden, a friend of ours in the industry, or not in the industry, I should say, but in the economy as a whole. He's one of the most brilliant people you can listen to. He writes a piece every week called Thoughts from the Front Line for us, and you can see it under this tab here. One of my favorite reads every week. The Kiplinger letters, a piece called By the Numbers that gives you really nice little talking points, just kind of some statistical information, depending on, what year we're going back to. It's kind of interesting. And then we'll see a piece called Barry's Insights. This is, as I mentioned before, with our Facebook Lives that we host, where we put different transcripts of those Facebook Lives and different, important parts in that Facebook Live where you can just read them here. You also have the link to it right up top. So anytime we issue an article or one of these Facebook Live transcripts, this is where you'll see it here. And lastly, you'll have your economic calendar. So this is where we'll kind of see what's on the docket for the rest of the week, the rest of the month in the news. And this is what we use to basically piece our morning updates together to see what we need to talk about that day. And if needed, we'll pull in any other kind of stories or news items that we have whenever we find it that morning. Now, with watching the markets, it is our main job to watch it for you, but it's nice that we give you a markets overview page. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with these candlestick charts already. If you're not, it's totally fine. Just to put it into perspective, I came into the industry with MBS Highway about almost 4 years. And I was like designing houses before that. I wasn't doing anything with mortgages. I wasn't even trading stocks or anything at the time, nothing. It only took me a couple of days to figure out how to read these. It'll be even faster for you because you have been doing mortgages for a while now. So you will understand this right away. Don't even worry. If you have questions, you can call us and we'll walk you through it. But just one thing, I know we have a short amount of time today together, and we are going to try to go through a lot, but unfortunately we can't go through everything. If you remember anything from today, while you're reviewing MBS Highway, on the very right side of your screen, you'll see this little blue help icon. Not just for this page, but for almost any single page you're on MBS Highway, it'll pull up a training or a tutorial video on how to use or read that page. So this one is not something that you really share with customers. I mean, you can, but it's not like a loan comparison, for example, where it's an interactive report. This is more so going to teach you how to read these different coupons, these different indices, how to read the candlestick charts, and really what all this means. Like I said, you can call us. Watching the morning update is also a really great way to learn how to read these, but just know that you have these videos throughout the site. If you get stuck and you're like me, you want to study by yourself, watch these videos. So team, under the markets tab, I just want to very briefly touch on these other items. An intraday chart that'll show you on a more micro level whatever indice is doing every 15 minutes. A treasury yield spread. This one I actually like to pull up because it's a really good early recession indicator. It's not something that's coming into talks too much right now. There are other factors that we're thinking of, potential recession in 2022, but it's not, certain. But this is something that comes into play when the 10 and the 2-year yield become inverted, and we see this inversion for a good period of time. Then you'll start to see these gray bars that indicate recessionary periods. So you'll see in the past, every single time that the inversion happened, you'll see the recession come shortly after. We briefly inverted in late August of 2019, but it wasn't for long enough. And then, down the road, we did see a recessionary period anyway. So again, not something that you'll have to use all the time, but a really good chart to just know you have access to. And you can customize it. Look at the 5 to the 1 year spread, the 2 and the 1 year spread, 30 and 10 year, whatever it is, you can customize this chart just like all the rest of them. So now, team, what I want to do, I don't see any questions. I'm continually looking. So if you have any, throw them in the chat box and I'd be happy to answer them. But what I want to do now is talk about maybe 2-3 tools that'll really help with both your purchase clients, your refinance clients, and with your referral partners. So one that's super easy to use and I think is a great place to start out with is called the Real Estate Report Card under the Real Estate tab. So if anybody listening wants to give me a zip code or a state and county, I can actually pull it in for the area you're in. If not, I'll pull in the area I'm in, or Val, if you want to give me one too, whatever. But if anybody watching wants to give me one, feel free to put a zip code in that chat box. And while we wait for that, what I'll show you too is not only can you put your zip code or even an MLS number or a full street address. If you click on use classic dropdowns, you can also just choose your state and county. So use whatever you want. But a lot of the time people will use the zip code. Of course, it's more customized or more granular, really. So I see Ryan got it first. Let's do 93551. Click on search, and then we'll pull in the area for you. So we're in LA County here, whatever this zip code is, whatever this city is. But just know, team, that when you put a zip code in this tool, this first row, median home price, appreciation, 5-year gain, this is all going to be for that city that you entered. Everything below it from inventory down is going to be for that county. And just know that we do this because, you could have a couple different cities within one county, right? So if we have certain cities in that county, the numbers might be a little skewed depending on where the customer is looking. So what we do is we take the exact median home price for that city and then customize these appreciation rates based on that median home price or that custom home price in that city. So it's a lot more specific that way. But either way, what we're going to do is see first really the financial opportunity in purchasing a home here. So our median home price is around $555. We have our average price per square foot. And as we know, we've seen really strong appreciation here, not only in the past, but going forward. So in the last 61 years, you'd show your customer that they could gain about in the last 61 years, we've gained about 5.5% appreciation per year. In the last 10 years, 6.26%. And in the last 5 years, 7.17% per year. But like I said, that strength is continued to keep going, or is expected to keep going. So in the next year, we're expected to gain 8.16% in appreciation. And in the next 5 years, cumulatively, about 28%. So we know the strength of these numbers. Let's really drive the point home to our customers and show them what it means to them. So what we're going to do right off the bat is take the median home price, apply these forecasted rates of appreciation, and show them that in just 5 years, they could gain $157,000 in just appreciation. This does not take into account amortization or anything else, just appreciation. But of course, not everyone's looking at this same median home price. So if I click on the pencil on the top right, and let's just say my customer is looking at a $600,000 home instead, now what we'll see is, wow, look at this, in 5 years, we'll gain $170,000 in appreciation. But not only that, of course, you have customers that are a little bit hesitant, as expected, to come in above asking price. So what we're going to see here is even if this customer has to come in 40,000 over asking price, 30,000 over asking price, I'm sure it's more, in some areas with how crazy it is, but we're going to see in just the first year, they've made back that additional 40,000. They're expected to gain almost $49,000 in just that first year. So really help motivate your buyers and really help them understand why it's not a bad idea to come in above asking price in certain markets. I take this from Barry, it sucks to buy a home right now when you think about it. Like the market's good, right? But it sucks in the sense that you're spending a lot more than what you want to purchase this home. But that's the same thing as like dieting and exercising. Nobody wants to do it. I mean, some people do, but not me.
Most of us don't, yeah.
but you do see the good results, once you finish and once you continue with it. So if you purchase a home today, you will see these benefits down the road. Not even that far down the road. Look at the first year. So, just something to think about.
That's a really good point for right now. And Barry actually talked about that. I was at the 2020 Vision event, and that was kind of his topic, was educating the consumers on it's not a housing bubble, but you can easily put yourself in a housing bubble if you're not planning on staying there for the amount of time that it's going to reach that value. So that's a really good tool for right now.
Thanks, Mel. Yeah. And like I said, you guys have access to it already. So don't, let it go to waste. You saw how fast it was to put together, put the zip code in, put the state and county. It takes you seconds. And what I also want to show you is how beautiful it looks when you share it with your customers or your referral partners. So on the right side of the page, if you click on this export option, you can choose a co-brand partner if you'd like. So I have a couple entered in here. Let's just say Barry is my referral partner. You'll go in and enter your own. If you need help with that, just call. We'll show you how. If you have Spanish speaking clients, a handful of these pieces are exportable in Spanish. So I'll do English, click on download PDF, download it as an image, or email it to yourself as a PDF. So I'll do PDF just for now. Give it a second to pull everything in. And once it does, you'll see this nice looking PDF. The image will look the same, by the way, nothing changes there. But with the PDF, you'll see your branding on the left side, your referral partner on the right side. If you do not wish to have your referral partner on the right, it'll be your company logo, and then the piece that you customize below. If you ever have any questions on what kind of sources we use, I know this is a question we get a lot. At the very bottom, you'll see it. You're not going to be able to read it right now, but at the very, very bottom right, you'll see the sources: MBS Highway, FRAD, US Census, and so on. You can always read it down there or just give us a call and we can explain that to you too. But for any piece really that you export from our site with or without a co-brand partner, this is what it will look like if it's a static piece. We also have interactive versions, which I'll show you on the next tool we review. I see a question in here. To clarify, the top is the city or the zip, below is the county. Yes. So the first row, it would have said median home price here, but I changed it to custom home price. But either way, it'll show you for this top row, the zip code, and then everything from inventory down, the county. So exactly right. All right, great. So if you have any other questions, John, I see your question about CMA. I'm actually going to send a message while we're on here to somebody just to clarify, unless Val, you know what that answer is to that CMA question there.
I don't believe we have one right now, as far as I know, because I think I actually asked Ryan the same thing, but that's something that we could talk about and get back to you on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm happy to offer one just because I want to, because I appreciate you guys and taking your time today. So I'll give you a call, at the end of the call if you want to sign up. But yeah, Val, we'll talk about it further, for like something on a more long-term basis, but we'll talk about that too.
Cool.
All right, guys. So I know we didn't go through the whole piece here, but I do want to get through another tool or two. So bear with me. Like I said, if you have problems or trouble, you can click on this help video on the right side or give me a call. I'll walk you through it one-on-one. But what I want to do now is focus more so on like a forecasting model or just something to show really the health of what the market's doing. I know we talked about coming in over asking price already, but our specific bid over ask tool is the best thing to use for that, of course, because we do have our forecasting models in there. So give it a second just to load, just taking a second. Sorry, guys. Don't know why it's not loading. Here we go. All right, so what we'll do, like I said, same thing on the real estate report card or really any of these pieces that ask for a location. You'll put the address in, the zip code, the state and county. what I'll do is just click on New Jersey, go to Monmouth County, just because I'm familiar with the information here, that's all. And then what we're gonna see is, let's just say my seller paid $300,000 for a home back in November of 2019. And that home today is going for about $350,000. So what you're gonna see is a space for the bid over asking price. Let's say my customer needs to come in $10,000 over asking price. And down here, we're gonna give you the estimated current value of that home based on our historical appreciation. But then you have another option. In this case, we don't have our MB estimate available. Our MB estimate is our automated valuation model. You have a separate tool under the real estate tab that'll show you a really detailed report of whatever specific home you're looking at. So just keep that in mind. But here, if we have that estimate, we'll give you that number too, and you can choose which one you want to use. Since I'm pretty much right in line with the estimated home value, I'm gonna leave it as is. Click on results. And that's really it. So you see how easy all these things are to put together, really. What'll take you the most time is maybe like a loan comparison, a few more fields of input, but you have all that information already from what your files are with your clients. So it'll take you seconds to put together and put a really nice report together. So what we're looking at now are our results, and we're going to show you more detailed now why it might be a good idea to come in above asking price and by how much. So our current asking price, like we said, is $350,000, coming in $10,000 above ask. Our total bid is going to be $360,000. On the right side, we'll show you just at a quick glance, it'll take you 3 months to break even from that asking price, not years, months. Then we'll show you in 5 years, we're going to average about 5.75% in appreciation per year. It's about $112,000 in the next 5 years. Down here, we'll show you graphically. The lighter purple shaded bars are going to be our historical values. So from that original purchase price, $300,000 to what it is today. The dark purple shading is going to be that $10,000 or whatever number you put in for your bid over asking price. And then the empty or non-shaded purple bars, or our blue line here, are going to be our forecasting models. So the non-shaded bars are going to be our forecasted based on just our regular forecasted appreciation. And then the blue line is going to be based on the estimated current value with that automated valuation model put together. So you're going to see, like I said, graphically too, that this dotted line is our total bid. We'll make that back within the first year. So again, team, you can click on this button on the right side to export this as a PDF or as an image with or without a co-brand partner. And you also have a screen sharing or screen recording tool. So I know we all use Zoom or GoToWebinar or Teams, whatever it is in today's world, we have to have one. But if you're already using MBS Highway, you have a free screen share already included in here. So it's going to be under your headshot at the top right. If you click on screen record/share, you have two options. You can live share your screen. This is just with one viewer though. This is not going to be like a Zoom where you can do it for a group, but easy enough if you're on the phone, instead of creating a Zoom, just send them an invite from here, put their name and email. They will not be asked to download anything. It'll just open up for them in a web browser. You will just have to download something one time, that's all. And then record screen. So this is how you can record your screen. You can even attach it to an interactive link, put in the recording name. So if I'm saying, bid over ask here for the Smith family, I can put that title in here, click on continue, and then it'll give you this little green box that pops up. I'm just going to move it over into the right screen. So it opened up on my other screen, but if you're using one, it'll be on that one. And what you'll do is share either whatever's in this green rectangle right here. You can totally resize it and share whatever you want, or you can share your entire screen. So whatever monitor this is on, if you have more than one, is what'll be shared. I don't know why it does that when I start waving around a little window like that. But then what you'll do is click on record. It'll count you down 3, 2, 1. I'd probably get this little guy out of the way. Maybe just minimize it. And now you're sharing your screen. So it'll pick up your audio, it'll pick up the video. And then once you're done with the recording, click on stop sharing, confirm the stop sharing, and then you're done. And then if you need help with that, Val, I can send you a video that outlines how to use the client packet feature where people can share with the video.
Yeah.
And I can also send you a video how to create your header and co-brand header. So feel free to share that out, I guess, with the recording. I'm more than fine with you guys doing that.
Cool. Yeah, we send a follow-up email just to recap for anyone who didn't get to watch this live. So I can include all that in the follow-up.
Great. Yeah, I'll send you both links. So another question, I think this is on the real estate report card. I never sent these because I didn't think the city was accurate and was only the county. I'll be using this now. It's good to know. Sorry, it wasn't, super, it's not super clear on there, of course. So I'll talk to the team to make a note about that, but good. I'm glad you're going to start using it now. That's great. All right, so team, let's take a look at one more tool. Let's take a look at our debt consolidation. And I show this because it's not only a good tool to use with your refinance clients, but also your purchase clients. I'm going to show you a scenario with refinance clients today, but also know that if you have like a move up buyer, for example, maybe I have a customer that purchased a $500,000 home a couple of years ago. Now they're looking to move into, let's just say, a $700,000 home for whatever reason. Their family is growing. They're all working from home. They need more space, but they just want to move. Either way, it's going to cost them. Not only is that purchase price going up, their property taxes are going to go up, and their interest rate could be going up too. If they purchased a couple of years ago when rates were at 2%, let's just say, and rates today are 3 or 3.5%, I know you guys can maybe do better than that, but just for the scenario, if they're a little bit higher, it all adds up. It could cost them, $1,200, $1,300 a month extra to move into that more expensive home when everybody has debt, credit card debt, student loans, car loans, whatever it is, that all adds up. So instead of, having your customer move into this more expensive home for what it should cost them, let's just call it $1,300 a month extra, take their debts, like I said, that everybody has, and consolidate that into their proposed loan option. Pay down that debt, reduce the overall monthly obligation, not just with their mortgage, because their mortgage is going to go up, but their overall debts are going to be reduced. So you can get that customer into their more expensive home for maybe $300 instead of $1,300 in some cases. Just a thought for your purchase side. But now let's take a look, like I said, at a refinance scenario. So what I'm going to do is click on the demo button and click on refinance. This is not something you're going to do because these are pre-filled numbers in Pierce County, Washington. If you're not there, it's not going to be very applicable. But just to show you a nice already put together scenario, you're going to start out by putting what type of scenario, purchase or refinance, the customer's monthly qualifying income, and whatever state and county, city, MLS number, put whatever the location is there. Here you're going to have the existing property information. So this customer has purchased a $500,000 home back in November of 2017. We're going to estimate that that home today is worth about $610,000. So we know that they built a nice amount of equity in their home now. Next, we'll show the existing loan information. So we ask first, has this customer refinanced since their original purchase or not? In this case, no, but if they did, click on yes and put the information from the last refinance. And we're going to see that the customer already put 20% down and they have a rate of 2.75% currently. We're going to estimate their remaining balance of their loan and their current monthly payment. If it's not right, just change it for whatever reason. You can change that. And then down here is where you'll enter in your debts and your obligations. So notice I already have mine entered here, some credit cards, car loan, but under debt name, you have 3 different options: your installment debt where you have your loans, revolving debts where you have your credit cards. And under other, you have things that you can't really pay off, like alimony and child support. You also have a cash out or a HELOC option, or just whatever other custom debt you need to add. And lastly, you have your proposed loan information. So first you have your ratios, your debt ratios for both front and back. We'll give you the thresholds, but you can of course change those if needed. And then your proposed loan information. So we're going from a 30-year fixed to a 30-year fixed. But hold on a second, you're bringing me up a full percent in rate to 3.75%. The customer is going to look at you crazy because not only that, you're bringing them up in rate, they also have $4,000 in closing costs to pay. They're going to be like, why would you even call me to propose this? Well, show them the results, click on calculate, and come down here and show them the opportunity they have in going through with a refinance with debt consolidation. Like I said, they're going to have a really good amount in equity in that home that they can tap into. Yes, their rate's going to go up. Yes, they have $4,000 in closing costs. And what we're going to see is that their overall monthly payment, if you take a look on the right side over here, is going to go from $47.66 a month to $48.51 a month. So it's going to cost them $85 a month to refinance. Again, they're going to say it makes no sense. But if we come down here and see our debts, just take this Visa in the first row, for example. Click on that row included in that proposed refinance loan and see that their monthly savings now, not a loss, but a savings goes up to $230 a month. Don't stop there. go through the whole list and show them if they took all their different debts that can be paid them off with a higher loan amount. They'll save about almost $1,500 a month by refinancing. Another thing too, take a look over here. You have all this white space between your LTV and your LTV limit. They're under their LTV limit by about $28,000. Customer might be doing their bathroom or their kitchen. Let's come back up, give them cash out. Under the debt name, click on cash out, put in, let's just say $10,000, add it to your list, click on continue, and come back down. And okay, we're saving you $50 or whatever it was, $50 less on a monthly basis. But look at what I just gave you to redo your bathroom. This is a gift to your customer. If you go down your pipeline and see somebody has a rate of, let's just say 2%, but you have a rate of 3%, don't let that stop you from calling them. Everybody has different circumstances, especially now after the last year and a half now that we had crazy. People's circumstances have changed. Not only will this help you close another loan, it'll help your customer in the long term, with their life in general, their finances. What a gift you can give to somebody with this tool. But that's not all. Take it a step further and show them, yeah, you can take this $1,400 and that extra $10,000 I gave you cash out, pocket it, spend it, whatever. But what if we pretended like this refinance never even happened? If you can afford making the same payments you're making now, why not take this $1,400? If you come down here, we'll show them if they put it back towards their principal, right back into their mortgage, their new loan term is no longer going to be a remaining 26 years and 3 months. It'll only be 13 and a half years. We've saved this customer almost 13 years of payments on their loan. No longer do they have 315 payments to make. They have 162 payments to make. You've saved them 150 payments that they're going to wake up each month and say, hey, I have no debt or no mortgage payment to make, really, I should say. And overall, that we're paying this loan off so much sooner, they're not going to have this remaining balance of $221,000 after 13 and a half years. We paid that off by then. So their net worth is now going to increase by $221,000 on top of that cash out that you've given them. So overall, this is a really powerful tool to use. I recommend using the interactive link version to share this. I'll show you very briefly before we open it up for some questions. On the right side, you have this save and share option. Put in your customer's name, click on save, and then click on share. Here you have a couple different ways you can share this tool. You can copy this link on the right side here, paste it into an email, text message, wherever. You can text it or email it to yourself and then send it out from there. Or you can put in the recipient's name and email. We'll send it directly to them. If you're more hands-on like me, I just put the link in the chat box, and thank you, John, for the kind words. We'd love to share this tool because we see a lot of success with it. But I just put that link in the chat box. So if you want to take a look, put your hands on it yourself, feel free, or you can just keep looking at my screen and I'll show you here. So what you're going to see is whoever you send this to will be asked for their name and their email. Oh my God, can't type. And then click on view presentation. And as soon as they click on view presentation, you will get an email notification letting you know that they've viewed it, that you should probably get on the phone with them if you're not already and start to explain that piece to them. So here's your branding at the top. And then below, you'll see that piece that we just looked at. So of course, it's going to look a lot shorter because we don't have all those inputs now. We don't want the customers to be able to change that, of course. So if you change something on our site, and then you keep this link out there, no matter who's looking at it at what time, it'll automatically make the changes on here, as long as you save it within MBS Highway. And the customer can actually come in here and check or uncheck any of these debts. So this Discover card, maybe it's their kid's card and they're not making payments on it, get it out of there and we'll pay off the rest. Or down here, something I didn't mention before, actually, if the customer did decide to put in this $1,400 a month towards their principal, fine. Not everyone's going to want to do that, of course. What you can do is click on this pencil here. And let's say the customer wants to put 715 in their pocket and then reapply the remaining should have been 716, but either way, click on use values. And now we'll show them that you're not saving them almost 14 years now, you're saving them almost 8 years, but look, you're still increasing their net worth by $147,000. So still really powerful, just depends on the customer that you're working with. But it's nice that you can customize it. And for those of you that are CMA graduates or plan to be CMA graduates, take a look at the bottom here. Will help you brand yourself as a CMA. So just keep that in mind. So team, that's all I got for the presentation. Val, if you have anything else that you think would be valuable for me to share, I do have the time, but just want to be respectful. If anybody has questions, feel free to put them in the chat box now.
Yeah, this was awesome, Diana. And I think, that last piece that you were talking about, just kind of going through and looking at their current rates and what the current rates are. We also coach on an annual financial review. So just making sure like 9 months after the loan closes, the client will start to get reminders to schedule that annual financial review. And really, it's an opportunity to look at what is their holistic situation look like. So what are their parents going to be doing? Do they have kids that are going to be going to college soon? So just bringing this up and seeing the money that they can be saving, whether it's doing a cash out refinance and giving them some extra money in their pocket, I think this is a perfect tool to really leverage during that annual financial review. It's really awesome.
Thanks, Val. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty to look at. It's easy to put together. So yeah, take advantage of it for sure. Thanks.
I would also ask, Diana, what you've seen a lot of people on MBS kind of translating. I do see a question here. We'll get to it in 1 second. Because what we really tell our partners is MBS Highway and going through CMA, it's educating you to be a better mortgage professional, but you should also use that information to translate to your prospects or clients and just educate them on what's happening in the market. So what would you suggest looking at on MBS? I know it's a lot of information, but what should they be looking at to try to translate onto, social media through videos or email blasts or whatever it is? How have you seen that really done well on MBS?
Sure. So really, I want to say it's everything on here because it really is, but just to give you some specifics for now, the morning update is like number one, I think you should be looking at. Because if you can't, confidently speak about these topics to your customers, how are they going to be able to, trust you with that, So they see people like Diana Olick on CNBC. I hate even sharing a name with her because of all the nonsense that I hear from there. And not just her, but all these news, media outlets, they sell headlines. We know that. We don't want to do that. We want to help you guys. So watch the morning update. I think even do your own little market update. I'll show you a tool right now called Social Studio, who I think you guys have heard of it already here, that you can use to create your own videos, which is really, really helpful and easy. But take the information that we do on a daily basis and do your own daily update on social media, weekly update even. A couple minutes, nothing crazy, just to say, hey guys, your lender here checking in. We got ADP jobs report today, came in a little bit lower than expectations, should help the stock market, hurt the bond market, or other way around, I should say, should help the stock market, hurt the stock market, help the bond market. We should see rates move lower. Something like that. Might not be the most compliant to say that online, but just make sure you say the right thing on there. But either way, use the information that you've learned in the morning update each day. We also have a market newsletter that we do each week. So under the marketing tab, click on newsletter. This is a pretty detailed read. I mean, I read this every week because I like this stuff. But if you want to, break this up into pieces, feel free to share this social media. As Ryan's saying here, may I use slides, et cetera, in a social platform? Or are there restrictions on data I can share? If I'm understanding your question correctly, if you're saying like you can use our information in the slides or social, that's fine. You can use whatever you want. The morning update, you cannot physically share, like you can't copy it and paste it or save that video at all, but you can type the information up. I think I'm getting your question correctly. If not, let me know. But anyway, so under the marketing tab, I do want to show you Social Studio. We do give you Social Studio scripts that are pre-written. So if you click on any of these, we do them every 2 weeks. So Abraham, to answer your question, they're about every 2 weeks or so, sometimes more, sometimes less, but we do try to keep them updated pretty often. And let's just say we talk about this most recent one. Is the housing boom over? Clearly, we don't think that. So we don't want your customers to think that. Or really, if there even is a housing bubble, sorry. So either way, what we're going to see is a pre-written script here that you can click on next. Down here, you can edit the script if you'd like. So just type in, Diana here from MBS Highway, or change the numbers if there are any numbers in here, or you can just leave it as is. Then you can click on proceed to desktop mode. Mobile mode isn't ready just yet, so use desktop mode. And then here, I'm going to connect my camera and my microphone. So give it a second to pull in. I'd probably do my hair a little nicer if I was doing a social media video, but I think we're okay for today. And before you actually start recording, what I like to do is preview the scroll speed and the size of the font. So I like it at about speed 3 or 4. It's not too fast, not too slow. And then I like to increase the font size and take a step back from the camera. Gives you a better angle, and it helps you not look like you're looking from left to right reading a script. It helps you look like you're looking right at the camera. So you'll notice, when I'm reading the first line of text here, it looks like I'm looking right at you. It's exactly what we want for an engaging video. So if you click on record, it'll count you down 3, 2, 1. Try to start with a smile, which I didn't do because I was talking, but try to start with a smile in there so you have a nice thumbnail, and then start reading through your script. And once you're done, click on stop recording and then watch your video. Make sure you're happy with how it looks, how it sounds, re-record as many times as you need, and then click on download. It'll download this video as an MP4 file. So the reason I bring this tool up is not just because we have already great pre-written scripts, but like I said, you can use the information that you've learned in the morning update or the newsletter, or just from hearing any of us at the team talk in general, and make your own video on that information. So those are just a couple ways I think I would share them. But yeah, so Ryan, you're good to do that. I'd like to explain slides in the social presentation. Yeah, go right ahead. Not a problem.
All right, this was awesome. Does anyone else, is there any last minute questions? If you want to raise your hand, we can also bring you in here if you have a more detailed question, but this was all really good information, Diana. We appreciate you jumping on.
Thanks, Val. Appreciate you guys having me on. Next month, I think, or in 2 months, you'll see Megan on here too. So you'll get Megan from our team next time, and then I'll be back later on.
And just for, I know we had some questions about CMA, but do you just want to briefly explain kind of the value of CMA? I mean, I've talked to so many mortgage professionals that went through the training, and I can't even explain how valuable it is. It's just like MBS Highway, you're getting that education so that you can translate things in the market better and really just know the ins and outs. So I'll let you take it from there, Diana.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so CMA is something we created right at the peak of COVID, actually. It was some big project that we all worked on together. It was really fun, actually. We got it recorded in professional studios, so you have great videos on there. And what it does is it's an 8-hour course that breaks down everything that you need to know, more than what you learn to get your loan officer license, in our opinion, because they don't teach you things the right way sometimes. For example, very specific now. If you have, $3,000 in closing costs on a loan, right? But your interest savings are $300, that's going to be a 10-month break even. But if your overall monthly payment, for example, is like a $400 savings, that's what they teach you to divide into those closing costs. So it's going to be an understated break-even point. We want to show a lesser break-even point, really. So that's just one little thing that we teach in there. But the first section is going to teach you all about what the mortgage market does, how the stock and the bonds markets kind of translate and work with each other, how to read candlestick charts in great detail, nothing like what we show you, on webinars like these, or even the morning update. This is like serious candlestick charting. We're also going to have people like Steve Nissen and Katie Stockton join us in our CMA renewal program. So once you renew your CMA account, or even if it's sooner than that, you'll get access to their content as well. I watched it. I'm blown away with it. It's a lot in there, so it'll be great. We also give you a section on how to read economic reports and interpret them, really. So again, you'll see that in the morning update and in our market newsletter each week, but this is going to be a lot more detailed, just so you can kind of remember them going forward when these reports come out, what numbers we're looking for versus what numbers the media reports on, for example. You'll also see a big section about the Fed. Obviously, a lot of talk about them right now, tapering, no tapering, if they're going to pull back on MBS as before treasuries. Whatever it is, we'll teach you all of that in there, specifically about Fed members, how voting works, whether a member is more dovish or hawkish, and the share of those Fed members in there. And also just the overall mortgage process. So underwriting, lock alerts, debt consolidation, as we looked at today, true break-even points, everything you can think of in there. So it's, like I said, 8 hours long, about 28 smaller sections throughout, but you do have 5 main modules A through E. After each of the 5 modules, you have a test where when you take that test, if you pass it, you move on to the next module, same thing going forward. And then once you graduate, you get put on our certified mortgage advisor registry, where somebody in your area can search for a CMA in their area and you'll pop up there. We also send you a nice little badge. We send you a certificate for you to frame in your office and give you, like I said, that continuing, I don't want to say continuing education because it doesn't count as CE credits, but just that continuing content over the years that we release it with more candlestick charting. We're actually doing a section on cryptocurrency, which I'm super, super pumped about because it's starting to get talked about more and more, and just so much more. So yeah, the cost is normally $19.97 upfront, and then only a $297 renewal fee. It's much less than the initial, but just for you guys, instead of $19.97, we can do it for $16.97. Val, I'll send you a code, like a sign up code and what link to go to. Feel free to include it in the email. And then, as we said before, we will talk separately, AOH and MBS Highway, about a more longer term fit. But for now, enjoy the $300 discount on there. And if you have questions on it, let us know.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so team, we will send that in the follow-up email. I do really recommend going through the CMA course. It is just being that true advisor that you guys are already committed to being. It just takes that a step further and really adds another thing that you can tell your clients that you are certified. So awesome stuff. Diana, thank you again. For anyone else, I know we plugged this a lot, but we do have the Originator Connect. Hold on 1 second. Is social survey an add-on? I don't see what you shared.
No. Oh, no problem, John. But no, social survey is not an add-on. It's like an integration we have. So if you remember now, but if you contact social survey and have them turn on the integration for you, at the bottom of the interactive links that I shared, you'll see your social survey reviews kind of slideshow down there. If you get stuck on it, have any problems, let us know, but contact social survey. They're great over there and they'll turn that on for you.
Cool. Sorry, I get distracted easily, but we'll be at the Originator Connect event. So if anyone is attending, we are hosting a happy hour Saturday night. So that's the last night of the event, the 21st. So if anyone is there, this is going to be for non-AOH members, but we also, of course, want to see anyone who is an AOH partner. So if you are going, keep an eye out. We'll be sending emails and make sure that you guys are in the loop on that, but definitely stop by and see the team. Barry and Megan are welcome to stop by. It'll be right across the street from Planet Hollywood, so an easy walk over, don't have to drive anywhere. But again, we will send out more information when we make that set in stone.
I'm jealous. I wish I was going with them. Have a drink for me.
I know, you should join the squad. It'll be a good time.
That would be next time. All right, guys. Well, thank you, Val, for having me on the Whole Lot of Ownership team. We love you guys. See you guys again soon. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for hopping on today, Diana.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.